Matur, Ping William, Ato in Juba, Malatori, hey, yo, Ping William, Ato in Benti, Walla Quaju, hey, wow, Ping William, Ato in Malkal, Walla Pinyaram, Ping William,
Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to Legislative Media. My name is Abraham Adinmajak. My guest of this morning is Dr. Matur Gorjok. Dr. Matur, been a while. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas too. It's still January. I hope you're doing well. So before we start our discussion, please, for those of you watching Facebook, YouTube, and Clubhouse, start sharing the show. This evening, I will having discussion with Dr. Matur. We will be talking about a lot of things going on in our country and also too for that party. Dr. I will give you this chance to introduce yourself before we dive into our conversation. So welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Brother Abraham. Yeah, and my greetings to you, and I wish you as well a happy New Year. Greetings to the team of Lake State Media. I greet you all. You've been doing a great work, and thank you also for hosting me once again. It's been a while since I've been on your show, so I'm really grateful for that. So we hope the new year will bring peace and prosperity to our country, and wish everybody well, our people across the globe, back home in South Sudan and in the neighboring countries and further in diaspora. I wish them all well, and we hope this year will bring peace to our country. You've heard my name. My name is Matur Gorjok. I'm the leader of the National People's Movement, which is the NPM. And the NPM is a member organization of the NCF. Thank you.
You're welcome, Dr. Matur. Can you, before I ask you more questions, can you tell a little bit, some of South Sudanese, they don't know more about your party, PC. So can you tell us what your organization is? And
how the organization is the NPM. That stands for the National People's Movement. Mm-hmm. This is a non-armed political movement that came about back in 2018. So as a group of the members who were predominantly members of the SPLM, which is the ruling party in Juba, but we realized the country was on the wrong path. We broke away from the SPLM and we came together and formed the NPM. And this is a national party, as you can see the name, the National Movement. All the people, the memberships come from across the country, from Barghazal, from Upper Nile, from Equatoria, and we're calling for change in our country, a peaceful change that to bring good governance to our country, the rule of law, and freedom for all, and then the needed services for our people, and the people and our people should get the dividends of their long fought independence and freedom over the years, which is lacking at present. And that's why we move away from the SPL and we formed the NPM. And we've been active since then. And we are now members of the NCF, which is a new political group. We will talk about it later. And so this is the NPM.
Thank you. Yeah. So while that's before Christmas, like a couple of weeks ago, the NCF launched the statement. So you guys came together and release the document. Can you give us what is all those about? What is the goal or objective of NCF for launching statement?
Yeah. The NCF is the National Consensus Forum. It brings about 21 political organizations, armed and non-armed, civil society groups, academics and professionals, youth and women groups, and faith-based organizations. So it is an endeavor from us to bring about our people and chart the way forward in our country. And we are suggesting, as we have launched the statement the other day on the 16th of December, we are suggesting that this time we should move away from these negotiations of one-on-one negotiations that will end up bringing accommodation to a particular group or party and nothing change in our country. We need this time to bring in a new thinking and a new approach and how we can solve our problems. And that's why we are suggesting the Roundtable Conference. A Roundtable Conference where all the stakeholders in the country will come together and discuss the root causes of our problem or the crisis in South Sudan. So this is so important. And that encounter between the opposition group, not only the opposition group, but all the stakeholders in the country, whether the government and the parties in the government as well, and the opposition inside the country and outside, and the civil society, as I mentioned, and everybody of concern in the country to come together and discuss the root causes and chart the new ways or the new political dispensation for our country. And we are suggesting that roundtable conference should be convened in a neutral place that would be acceptable to both parties, the opposition and the government, and also our partners, the people of the international community that has been working so hard to bring peace in our country should be involved as well as observers. So this is what we are suggesting. We spoke about it on the launch of our statement in December. And we are waiting for the response from the government, and we'll see how we go. But we have chosen the right path. We haven't chosen the path of war. We have chosen the path of dialogue, because our people have been suffering so much. The people are dying. Death has been exceptional. People have died a lot, particularly in this senseless war that was caused by the regime, and which led to the death of nearly 500,000 innocent lives of our people. So this has to stop. Our people are suffering across the board, no services, and no essential services like schools, health care, and our people are scattered all over the world, particularly in the neighboring countries where they are refugees. They are suffering, they're being looked down, they're being humiliated every day, in and out. That's not acceptable. The reason we fought for the country is so that everybody goes back home, we have prosperity, and we change the livelihood of our people. This was the main reason our people fought war after war, starting from Anyanya 1 to the SPLM, SPLA. So that's where we stand as the NCF, and that was the statement. And I think everybody should have read it now to become familiar with that statement. And that's our proposal to come out of this crisis in South Sudan. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Matur. Yeah, as you mentioned before, you guys are waiting for the government to respond to your proposal. Has you are 21 political organization party, And yet the government, like this 21, there are 4 parties within this 21 that these 4 parties, they were having a peace different part from the rest of you guys. For these 4, they were having a peace negotiation with the government in Rome. So yet for this new NCF umbrella or political party, did the government acknowledge or organize NCF to have a communication or to have a negotiation with them? Because there is a 2 different party here. Because before I go to other Rome, so I want to focus with NCF first. So did government reach out and accept these 21 political parties that want to negotiate with the government?
Yeah. Thanks for the question, Brother Abraham. Look, the NCF is a new political organization, as I mentioned earlier, and we haven't been in contact yet with the government. But the NCF is not asking for anybody for recognition. We are a political group, a Southern Sudanese political group, with an agenda, a specific agenda, that we think it will bring change in our country and will bring peace for our country. So it is up to the government to grab the opportunity and come and sit down with the NCF and talk to us, not only to us, but to the people of South Sudan, and to discuss the root causes, what went wrong in our country. So NCF is there, and we're not asking for any recognition, but we are ready for talks with anybody that is willing to bring about peace in our country. Regarding the other 4 groups, yes. Before the NCF, there was something called SOMA, and they became the whole-out groups because they refused to sign the RCs back in 2018, and they formed SOMA, and they've been in negotiations with the government in Rome through Sen and Gideon since then, and nothing came out of that negotiations. So now they're part of the NCF, and we think that negotiation, which has been going on for some time now, is not yielding any results for our people. So that's why we open a new page, and we come together as an organization, and we're calling for a roundtable conference, which is the new approach to solving our problems in the country. So that's where we stand as the NCF. We're ready. Our statement is out, and if the government would take it, it would be much appreciated, because our country is at a critical juncture. But as you mentioned, we are not recognized by the government. Yeah, we are not asking for any recognition. We're a South Sudanese political group, and we are there to stay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, so you mentioned about Roundtable, and I hear that Roundtable is one. I hear them from all our opposition. They are talking about Roundtable, your NCF leadership. They are talking about Roundtable, and the government rejecting it. So, what will be the alternative if the government refuse not to go on the table, Roundtable with you guys? So, what will be the next step? What plan A is Roundtable? So, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Look, if the government refuses to accept the roundtable conference, that will be an indication that the leadership in Juba is not serious in bringing about peace in the country, because it is a great opportunity for our people to come and sit down and talk and discuss the issues concerning our country, particularly the issue of war, the crisis, instability, insecurity. That would be an indication they're not serious to bring about peace. And for us in the NCF, we will continue with a call for a roundtable conference and a new political dispensation in the country. And we will talk with all the stakeholders in the country and then we will come up with the plan with plans B and C and so on. But for now, our focus is on the Roundtable conference, as we stated in our statement, and it is up to the government to grab it or leave it. But it will not change our course. We will remain calling for it. We will work hard to bring our people together, call our people to support our call, and our people are listening to us at the moment. That they started supporting the call for the talk, for the dialogue instead of war, because we are fed up of wars. And that also will be an indication the government, if they are refusing to dialogue with the opposition group, they opted for war. And for war, that's a different scenario. I won't talk about it, but this is our call, and we are very genuine in this call that we must sit down, discuss it, chart the new political dispensation for our country, and stop the bloodshed and bring peace to the country.
Thank you, President. During his speech of New Year speech, he called out a whole lot of opposition, including you. He's calling on you guys to return back home for election. As we are now feel like 10 or less than 10 months away until election day, and President is calling you and the whole out group come back home to participate in the election. What is your response to the President call? Are you guys going to go or accept the President call, the state of Roundtable? Member of the government, they said that Roundtable is a good thing, but Roundtable had to be done here in Juba. Come back home and we will sit down and then solve our own house, what's going on in our house. We can solve this. Roundtable can be hosted here in Juba, not outside. So what is your response to President call to come back home to participate during election? So that is number two. Your party, I'm not talking about NCF, your party NPM. Are you going to go for the election? Is your party going to go for the election of 2024 this year? Those are two questions. So go ahead.
Yeah, look, it's a nice question. What I would say, calling for the president to call for election at this stage I think the leadership in Juba is not serious even in calling these elections, because all the requirements for elections are not met. And I will start. Number one, in the RCs, the agreement that they are working on it now. They have formed the government as a coalition in Juba. There are some benchmarks or requirements for the conduct of elections, and none of this has been met. So whether it being the security arrangements, whether it being the constitution, the drafting of the permanent constitution, whether the repatriation of our refugees from the neighboring countries, and census, that will be the last thing before the elections. All this, nothing has been achieved. And to come abruptly and call for elections, I don't think it's the right thing. It's a mockery. That the conditions are not met. That's on one side. Number two, there is no political space in the country. You cannot tell us about elections while there is no political space, no freedom. People are not allowed to assemble. People are not allowed to campaign. People are not allowed to come together to sell their ideas as political parties or political organizations. How would you call elections, or one-sided elections, while there is no political space for the rest of the political groups? Even the SPLM-IO, their partner in the government, is not allowed to campaign or to conduct any rallies in the country. So the conditions are not conducive, or intentionally the government is making it difficult for the election to take place. And on the other hand, they're calling for elections. That's why I call it mockery, and it's blackmailing to the people of South Sudan. The other thing, which is mostly important, there is no political will to embrace democracy in the country. And we have so many examples, and I would cite only one. Back in 2013, before the war broke out, the main reason for that war was the refusal to go for elections, because there were some leaders, the SPLM leaders, who indicated their intention to challenge the president for the chairmanship of the SPLM. And he refused to call the political bureau. And he went for the council instead. And even in the council, they were telling the people that the voting should be done by the show of hands, which is an intimidation to the members. And they do that even in the parliament at the present. So there is no willingness to embrace democracy. And through democracy, you can talk about elections. So for the same leadership that is refusing for democracy in their own party, which is the SPLM, they cannot come and talk about democracy or elections for the whole country while there is no democracy in the party. Things start at home. They should put their home together, go for elections in the party, choose the leadership, and then come and call for the elections and open political space. That the election that we will participate in, the elections that there must be guarantees, and that is going to be discussed in the Roundtable conference, which is going to be the new political dispensation in the country. People will talk about these elections, and the elections must be free and fair, and the election must be internationally supervised, so that no crisis after the elections, and election will not be rigged. That's the elections we will participate, whether the NPM, our political party, or the NCF as an organization of political groups. But the current call for the elections, we think it is premature. The conditions are not conducive. The environment is not conducive, and the environment is not conducive because it has been created intentionally to become like that, and because of lack of political will to embrace democracy and the tendency for dictatorship. This is what is happening in our country. We reject it, and we are not going to participate in such elections. And the elections that we would participate, as I mentioned, is elections that must be guaranteed and supervised, and our people are given freedom to choose their leaders, and that's the only way forward in our country to bring change and transfer of power peacefully in a state of fighting over power. That's what I can say about elections. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you think the election will take place in December?
I don't think so. Yeah, but if they go for it, it will be a one-sided elections, and to legitimize their regime, and the people of South Sudan will reject it.
So, what do you propose if the election will not take place in December? Do you think what South Sudan will look like if there's no election this year?
Look, it will be up to the government to say either they go for these one-sided elections. It is up to them, but nobody will accept the outcome of such elections. The extension would not be possible. Nobody would accept it. We would be the first to reject it in the NCF, and the entire South Sudanese people would not accept it. So no further extensions.
So if NCF is not accepted the extension, and NCF is not accepted election. So what would be the solution?
The solution is for the government to accept the Roundtable conference, come and sit down with the opposition group and stakeholders in the country, so that we chart a new political dispensation for our country. That's the only way we think would bring our country out of the crisis.
Okay, let me go back to Roundtable 1 second. So what will be discussed on Roundtable, apart from what is the difference between Roundtable, national dialogue? What's the difference here? Because remember when the national dialogue was taking place, so and Roundtable and ARCIS, national dialogue, ARCIS, and now Roundtable. What's the difference between these three?
Yeah, the difference is this. The national dialogue, as you would remember, was a call by the president himself and the leadership in the country that the people go to talk. Yeah, and that was done successfully. People dialogued, national dialogue, even though the opposition was not included. There was a significant agreement or some sort of agreement reached in the national dialogue, and the recommendations were put out. But the same leadership came and rejected the recommendation of the national dialogue, which is a contradiction, because you cannot call for a dialogue, and then when the outcome is recommendations are there, you reject them. This is a contradiction by itself. So that was the national dialogue. The Roundtable conference is a different approach. This is a multi-stakeholder conference that would involve the opposition, while in the national dialogue, the opposition was excluded. This one is an initiative by the opposition itself, and we need the government to come and sit down, all the stakeholders to come and sit down, and our partners, peace partners, or the international community, or the IGAD, or the AU will come and sit, listen. We talk about the issues concerning our country, causing the problems, where we went wrong, and these are the root causes of the problem. We must address them. We should not shy away from discussing them. We must address each and every one of them. And then we come up with a consensus. Consensus not only among the opposition, but the entire nation, the entire country. So the NCF is the beginning of the consensus. We're starting from the opposition groups, and then we will extend it to the whole country. And we invite the government to accept this call, because the call is genuine and we think it will bring peace. And it's the only way that we can come out of this crisis. The second option would be more further crisis, more wars, death, and displacement, which has happened already. Millions of people are across East Africa and beyond that. So this is the way forward. And that's the difference between the national dialogue and the Roundtable conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Matur. Last week, President sent a letter to President Kenya, President William Ruto, and he asking President Ruto to take a moderator role to take post President Kiir want to shift it Rome, his negotiation from Rome to Kenya. So, and we hear it from some of your group NCF member, like we hear from General Paul Malone. He accepted. He said that that's a good idea, and we hear it from General Thomas Rilo. He denied it's not acceptable. So he said that to take the peace negotiation from Rome to Kenya is not safe place for security reasons. And also we hear it from General Kaganamom, but General Kaganamom told us that he will have a meeting with you guys on Monday, which is a few days ago. So did you guys have that meeting? What did you guys discuss, and what did you come out? What is the response? NCF respond to the government about the letter that they sent to Kenya.
Yeah, we haven't met yet as the NCF leadership. We will meet in the coming few days, and also we haven't got any official letter or invitation from the government. What we are hearing from the news that one of the ministers has been dispatched to Nairobi with a letter from the president asking for transfer of troops from Rome to Nairobi. The ideas that you're hearing now from the each leaders, could be personal opinions, but we will meet as leadership and we will agree on one thing, and we will let our people down. But calling for talks itself is a good thing. We welcome that. And but there must be the guarantees that these talks are going to be inclusive, and is going to be done through the Roundtable conference, where, as we suggested, and we're not against any regarding the venue as well. We will agree on the venue, the safe place that everybody will be comfortable going to it. We will agree on it. And also I would say, and I think, and this is my personal opinion, Serengeti has been helping our people to come together for quite some time, and I think we should not leave them in the cold. We should include them as well. Not only Serengeti, the IGAD, the AU, the Troika, all our friends, international friends, they've been trying so hard to bring peace in our country. So we cannot leave them out of the negotiations. We should include them as well. And if the venue, yes, as they are saying, the Rome is too far from South Sudan, we can choose another venue which is closer, but we must agree on that venue, all of us. I think we should combine all the negotiations, we bring all the mediators together so that we have a unified platform where we come and talk about the issues of our country, where our friends will be there, observers, and instead of leaving them out and then come and open a new page with one country like Kenya or maybe two countries. This is my personal opinion, but as NCF we will come up with a response when we get that letter from the government, and we'll make our people aware of where we stand regarding the call from the president for negotiations in Nairobi. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Matur. The Rome peace negotiation is between the government and SOMA. So NCF is not a part of the Rome. Now, so here is where the competition coming in and how you guys can handle this, because NCF is combined with 21 political party organization. SOMA group has only 4. And the SOMA group are the one who signed peace negotiation with the government. And the government recognized only SOMA. And that letter that the president sent to Kenya is only, he focused about the peace negotiation in Rome with these 4 SOMA group. But NCF is not a part of it. Okay. So what is the solution here? Government is not recognizing NCF. And the member of SOMA, they are not even talking about SOMA anymore. They are talking about NCF, right? So my question to you is, in your closing door negotiation or talk with your member of NCF, is it SOMA? Is that no more SOMA? Does NCF replace SOMA? If yes, how, if the government say that we are not recognize NCF, we recognize SOMA, the one that we signed a peace agreement with in 2018 or 2020. So go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, it will be up to the government, yep, to recognize whatever they want to recognize. And if the letter is intended only for the SOMA, yep, the SOMA will answer to that letter. It won't be the NCF. But we have moved away from this thinking of unilateral approaches to talk to the government, and we are calling for an inclusive the effort to bring peace in our country. And that's why we formed the NCF in the first place, to move away from this unilateralism. But if the government would like to talk to the particular groups, it's up to them. And that group would be ready to answer that question, not the NCF. But we think the NCF is the right way because it is inclusive. Everybody's there. And we are suggesting this roundtable conference that will bring everybody together. And I think even the members of SOMA would say the same, that they have moved away from that thinking of talking to the government by themselves, and now they are part and parcel of this NCF. And I think in the last round, if I could remember, back in May or March last year, when they met in Rome, they brought up this issue that our contact would move from SOMA to the NCF, so that the NCF would be the one in charge of the negotiations with the government, not negotiations, coming to the roundtable conference. And I think this is where we stand. But if the government is indicated that they would like to talk to certain groups, it is up to them, and that group will be more than ready to answer the call from the government.
So what about within NCF and SOMA? What is your communication with NCF and SOMA? The member of SOMA now are the member of NCF.
Yeah.
Yet they told you guys that they are no longer be participate as a SOMA. Stop to the government as a SOMA, but they will be talk with government as an NCF. What is your communication with these four groups that join 21 political party? So are they saying that we are no longer member of SOMA, or do they still call themselves SOMA? Meanwhile, they are a member of NCF. If so, how is it going to work? Because there will be two different peace negotiation with the government, SOMA and NCF. So what is talk within your group with the NCF and with the SOMA?
Yeah, look, Brother Abraham, look, we are not suggesting two different negotiations pathways. We're only talking about one approach through the NCF. That's where we stand at the moment as a political group, the NCF. The SOMA is still there as an organization. Yep, they could do the things as at that level as SUNA, but as SOMA, and we do have SUNA as well. The NPM is a member of SUNA. That's another organization that has been in existence before the NCF itself. Yep, we discuss our own affairs, how to organize ourselves, and it's the same. SOMA is there; they can organize themselves. But when we're coming to the NCF, we come as an inclusive organization for all the South Sudanese political organizations, civil society groups, as I mentioned earlier, academics, religious groups, youth and women. This is an inclusive. But the other tiny, small political groupings are there. And I think there is no contradiction between them. and the mother NCF. The NCF now is in charge of the contacts with the government, and we put out that statement, the statement that would be bring people together, and we forge a new political dispensation for our country. So I don't think there is any contradiction there, and and if the SOMA would like to talk as SOMA, yep, they can do that, and but we prefer that we talk as NCF.
Okay, thank you. So right now, what we're seeing in opposition camp, opposition are so divided. It's like opposition now, NCF have 21 political party organization, and there are other political party out there, and they have they have their own unified umbrella, which I don't want to call them right now because they are another different political party, which is opposition, which lead by Dr. Pierre Jack and the rest of the school. And you guys 21. This is show people of South Sudan, you guys are divided. So how can the government speak to you guys while you guys don't even have the chairman of your political party? Everyone have their own political party. So if you guys are not united, if there is a way here, government can talk. Government will say that, oh, whom do I want to talk to? Because we have these many political parties out there that are not registered, and they are not inside the country. So, and they want to negotiate with me. As which one? Which do I want to talk to? So, have you NCF? Do NCF have a leader? Thank you. Go ahead.
You are cutting, Abraham.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm asking that: do NCF have a leader? The leader. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's cutting. I don't know. I think maybe it's a network.
Yeah, it's network on your side. Yeah, my network is closing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm saying that NCF, do NCF have a leader?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, you were cutting. I haven't heard some of your words there, but it's okay. Look, we don't have the leadership yet for the NCF, but we don't think that's a big problem. We have the leadership council, all the leaders of political organizations and other groups. We are there, and then this is a kind of leadership. It's a collective leadership for us. And when we decide to have a unified leadership, we will come to that stage. But it's not a problem and should not pull us back and should not delay, even by a minute, the Roundtable conference. And also, if the government was talking to set one or two political organizations or four, like before with SOMA back in Rome, I don't think there is any contradiction to come and talk with 21 political organizations. So this should be clear. If they are really serious to bring about peace, they should come and talk they should come to the Roundtable conference and talk to the people. The division among the opposition group, we are different organizations. That is there because everyone can think differently how they can bring about peace, their objectives, but we all agree on one thing, that there must be change in our country, and that democracy should be the way forward to bring about change or transfer or of power in the country, where our people will be consented. They will be voting for the leaders that they would like to lead them, and in a state of fighting over power, like what happened before between the president and his vice president. That's not acceptable. The democracy should be the one determining factor to power transfer in the country. So the opposition is divided, but we think coming together in NCF is the beginning of unity, and the unity not only in the opposition, but the unity of our people. It has been a policy of this government to divide our people, so that the policy of divided rule, so that they can reign, and that's why they're still in power at the moment. They divide on the basis of tribes, on the basis of regions, you named it. This is the policy that's out there, and we're against this policy. Our people are not only tribally affiliated, but we are proud South Sudanese. We should come together as South Sudanese. We'll put unity first, and we'll bring peace, we'll bring justice to the people, because you cannot have we cannot have peace without justice. Justice must prevail, the rule of law in the country. There should be no discrimination that you are from this region, you are from this tribe. Tribalism must be stopped, and we put South Sudan as number one. South Sudan is for all of us, and it can accommodate us all as it used to be. We have the resources. We shouldn't be poor as we are at the moment. And because of the wastage of the money, because of the prevalent corruption in the country, that's why our people are suffering. That one has to stop. So yeah, this is a great attempt to bring our people together, the NCF, but and to bring unity among in our country, and then when we are united, and we can work for the prosperity of our country, and bring services to our people, and bring development, and most important, to bring our people, our refugees, back home. We are fed up with displacement. Our people are displaced even inside our country, and this is a shame on us. A country like South Sudan, we should have internally displaced people. The people of our country, that are displaced because they're fearing their own government. This is unacceptable. So we need to free these people. Should come out where they are at the moment. Refugees, our country, in neighboring countries, we have millions and millions, and they are suffering. They are being humiliated every day. These people should come back home and participate in the development of the country. We have people who are skillful people across the globe. The people who are highly educated that can come and develop our country. They're not coming back home because of this insecurity, and the government is not even caring about them. So this is our intention in the NCF, is to stop all this, bring peace to the country, and exercise the democracy. The democracy must reign in South Sudan, because it is the only way that we, as I mentioned earlier, that we can transfer peacefully the power from one person to the other. And that person must be elected by the people. And when you are elected by the people, you must be accountable to them. Thank you.
Thank you. This time I will take a few questions from comment section, and also page YouTube. Clubhouse. Clubhouse. If you guys, someone having a question, raise your hand. We will bring you up. There's a question coming from Gumriak. Okay. Room React is asking you, is Dr. Matur Gorjok willing to contest for the presidency in December coming general election? Is his party NPM registered one in as South Sudan Political Party Act? And thanks. So he's asking you, are you willing to run for the presidency? And second question, is your political party registered?
No, we are not registered yet. We don't think the registration is necessary at this stage, but ultimately we will be registered, because to be a party in a country, you must be registered. Now we are a political movement, and that's why at this stage we call ourselves a political movement, that we are free to operate wherever we are because of the security situation in our country. We're a political movement, and then when we move in, we will register, and then we will sell our ideas to the people of South Sudan. And at that stage, the party will sit down. If they want to contest the elections at what level, that will be decided by the party. But for now, it is premature to talk about even joining the elections. As I mentioned earlier, the conditions are not conducive for elections for the reasons I mentioned earlier. And we in the NPM, we don't think we will participate in these upcoming elections because of the reasons I mentioned, and the NCF as well. We don't think we will participate in that one-sided call for elections. We need an inclusive elections that will be observed by the credible observers, and the outcome will not bring any controversy or conflict again, because the current call for the elections would invite another war, likely. So we think because it would be a one-sided elections, the elections would be rigged, and because you cannot go and campaign, you are not allowed to campaign while there is an election. How would you sell your ideas? So yeah, that's our position in the NPM. It is premature to talk about joining elections or to talk about candidates at what level, whether at the presidency level or the governorship or the commissionership. It is premature. We will come to that stage when the time is there.
Thank you. There is a question coming from Daniela Valentino Wall. She is asking you, which one of you have ever visited IDP? You are just joking with the big title like PhD and live abroad with your laptop case political party is going going to is going to UN headquarters and seeking attention on social media interviews. So what can you answer her on that? And she has another follow-up question here.
Look, this.
Yeah, go ahead. Answer her first question. Go ahead.
Thanks for the question. But look, I think this is the mentality, exactly the mentality of the regime in Juba. We are not talking nonsense. We are talking facts about our country. When the people are suffering and people are divided, people are killing themselves, and death everywhere. People are hungry, diseases across the nation. It is a call for duty for the citizens of that country to talk, and that's what we are doing. We cannot keep quiet while our people are suffering, while our people are in the internally displaced camps. You don't need to visit them to know the conditions. We know, because we have people in the ground, and then they are visiting them, they're talking. We know what is happening in the country, not only in Juba, but across the nation. So it will not be right to keep quiet. Some people may choose to keep quiet, but that's not the right decision. We must talk, because this country belongs to us. It does not belong to the elites or the clique in Juba. It is our country, and we are free to talk. We are free to challenge whoever mistreating our people, whoever dividing our people, whoever misruling the country. We are free to talk. And nobody can tell us you stop doing this, because this is our right. This is our democratic right, and we have to express ourselves proudly and courageously that what is happening in the country is not acceptable, and change must come to that country through peaceful means, through democracy, where people will elect the leaders. And that's where we stand. We are not begging anybody for recognition. Nobody would stop what we're doing, because we are citizens of this nation and we are free to express our minds. We cannot stop talking against this injustice in our country, and so our people are suffering, and we cannot keep quiet. We must talk. Thank you.
Thank you. And her follow-up question, she's asking you, what is a political movement in diaspora? And I have one more question here.
What sort of political movement? My political movement is the National People's Movement, the NPM. If her question is that, I don't know what she's asking about.
Okay, there's a question coming from Charles Yvonne. He's asking you, my question, do you have a military branch of your movement, and when and where did you launch your operation in colonial South Sudan, NCF leader? So he asking you, do you guys have military wing in the country on the ground?
Yeah. If they are talking about the NPM, which I'm the leader, we don't have an armed wing. We are a non-armed political organization. But if she's talking about the NCF, yes, the NCF, we have political organizations that are armed, and they are members of the NCF. So we don't have one political organization called in the NCF. It's a multi-stakeholders organization with 21 political organizations and other organizations, and within which there are armed and non-armed, and civil society groups, and so on. So this is where we stand. And the NPM, we don't have the military wing, because we don't. We are a non-armed political organization, and we have membership across our country, in the 10 states, and we are operating there. And registration, as they asked earlier, registration will come. We are not in a hurry, and we don't need permission from anybody to exercise our rights to talk and organize ourselves. We are free citizens. We can do that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Matur. Isaac, do you have anybody in Clubhouse have a question? I have a comment that one of the person in Clubhouse, she is give you a word of acknowledgement, and she is that I would not say her name in here, but I will read out what she wrote, which is very good. She's asking, she's saying that I know Dr. Matur Gorjok here from Sydney. He is an amazing person and providing a lot of service to the community, and he is truly asset to our country in South Sudan. So that's a good acknowledgement from.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
There is a question coming from Wani Lado. Wani Lado is asking you, get NPM ready for peace talk proposed by the government in Kenya? Actually, we talk a little bit about that. If you want, you can give, maybe you just came, you can answer his question.
Yes, we are ready for talks, but not as NPM, as NCF, and I think we elaborated on this earlier. we are ready for talks. And talks must be inclusive. And then it must be to address the root causes of the crisis or the conflict in the country through the proposed Roundtable conference. Thank you.
Thank you. Isaac, do you have anything to say?
No, thank you.
Okay. So we come to conclusion, guys. Thank you, Daniela and Wani and Gabriel and the rest of you in Clubhouse for your questioning. At this time, I come to conclusion. Before I let Dr. Matur go, I would like to give him for the last remark, and then I will let him go. So thank you, Dr. Matur, for coming. Go ahead and put your last statement.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Abraham. Thank you once again, the Lake State Media, for hosting me. Once again, I think you're doing a good service to our country, and I would urge you to continue doing the same. Finally, I would like to tell our people, the people of our country, wherever they might reside, back home, across the globe, we should not lose hope. We, the people of South Sudan, we have come a long way. Through a struggle, our people died, and at the end, we got the country, the independence, and now we have this country called South Sudan. We're so proud of it. What we need, we should not lose hope, and we should not keep quiet. This country belongs to all of us. We need a country that must be built on equality and justice basis. A country in which nobody is discriminated because he's from a certain group or a certain tribe. It's not right. This country belongs to everybody. And every single tribe in our country participated in a way or the other in the liberation of this country. It was not done by certain groups. It was a collective effort from our people through decades of a struggle from Anyanya 1 to the SPLA, and now we have the country. It is the responsibility upon us, this generation, to lay the foundation for the next generations so that we can bequeath a country that is not divided, the country that is peaceful, and the country that is prosperous, that we must be proud of it as South Sudan. Our people are suffering in the neighboring countries and in refugees camps, and I referred that these are the forgotten people in the country. You are not forgotten. You might be forgotten by the government, but we know you. We know you're suffering. We care about you. That's why we're doing all the efforts so that justice and peace come back to our country and you move back to your respective states and counties. We know you're suffering, but please stay united, stay focused, and be hopeful that change will come in our country and peace will be there for all, and injustice will stop, tribalism will stop, and freedom of speech and movement will be there for our people to enjoy the dividends of the liberation of the country as proud South Sudanese people. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Matur, for coming into Let's State Media. We are so humbled to have you in our show today, and it's good that to have you and to speak to the people of South Sudan. I hope, I wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and also I hope the NCF will continue. Let's State Media will follow up with the NCF while you're progressing with the negotiation with the government. Hope things will work out with you guys. So I'll just say thank you so much for coming in. Have a wonderful night and morning, wherever. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Brother Abraham. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.